Eliot Brown, The Cult of WeWork, Adam Neumann, and the Great Startup Delusion. Dive into the compelling story of WeWork, the brainchild of Adam Neumann and Miguel McKelvey, as it transforms from a twinkle in their eyes to a $47 billion behemoth. The Cult of We takes readers on a journey through the rapid rise and downfall of one of the most hyped startups in history. Discover how Neumann and McKelvey managed to create a massive company with nothing more than a pitch, and how they sold the illusion of the ultimate fusion between technology and real estate. Be prepared to uncover the murky side of the entrepreneurial world, including the chaotic mismanagement, audacious spending, and the dramatic downfall of a mighty empire.
WeWork, from kids' clothes to co-working empire. How two friends, Adam Neumann and Miguel McKelvey, turned an idea of renting ready-to-use office spaces into a $45 million company called WeWork. In 2006, architect Miguel McKelvey met Adam Neumann, an Israeli entrepreneur, who was passionate about getting rich. Neumann sought McKelvey's advice on finding affordable space for his baby clothes business. McKelvey suggested the building he worked in, 68 J Street. Neumann moved in with the business plan to rent ready-to-use office spaces to technology companies. McKelvey, who was often a sounding board for Neumann's business ideas, pitched in his support. They approached their landlords with the idea in 2008, and the landlords joined them as partners, offering them a floor in one of their buildings. Green Desk was born with McKelvey working on the floor plan, business plan, and website. The timing for Green Desk could not have been more perfect, given the Great Recession of 2008 when even big companies were downsizing office spaces. Neumann and McKelvey sold their stakes in Green Desk to the landlords for $500,000 each in 2009 and then went on to search for spaces they could rent and slice up to create small offices. They did not have a single customer yet, but they pitched WeWork to real estate developer Joel Schreiber in 2010. They claimed WeWork was worth $45 million, and incredibly, Schreiber agreed to invest $15 million in exchange for a one-third stake in the company. WeWork was the startup that went on to become a game-changer in the co-working industry. WeWork, from real estate to tech startup. WeWork's success can be attributed to the co-founder Adam Neumann's ability to reframe the company as a tech startup, which appealed to venture capitalists. Neumann convinced investors by presenting WeWork as space as a service and highlighting the blurred lines between work and play, promising to create close-knit communities and a physical Facebook. Despite being a real estate company, WeWork's revenue projections of $2.8 billion by 2018 convinced investors, leading to a remarkable valuation of $100 million. These factors helped WeWork attract $400 million in investments by 2015. Neumann's obsession with growth at WeWork. As WeWork expanded globally, its co-founder Adam Neumann became increasingly reckless in his desire to double the company's revenue every year. Despite losing $1 million a day with 65 locations by 2016, Neumann continued to ignore profit margins and obsess over rapid growth. After attracting significant investment from SoftBank, Neumann convinced the CEO to invest billions in WeWork, valuing the company at an astounding $47 billion. However, the company was still far from turning a profit. WeWork's misguided expansion. WeWork, the company that redefined office space, lost track of its core business as it expanded too quickly. The company's founder, Adam Neumann, sought to take over newer and bigger markets, leading to a failed attempt at redefining residential living with WeLive. He also rebranded WeWork as the We Company to encompass new ventures such as his wife's WeGrow Elementary School. Neumann's spending became even wilder, including the purchase of a Gulfstream private jet for $63.4 million, causing confusion among staff and leaving WeWork no closer to being a profitable and sustainable business after depleting $3 billion of SoftBank's investment. The rise and fall of WeWork. Adam Neumann, the founder of WeWork, promised his employees the company would be worth $100 billion. However, after SoftBank withdrew its deal, WeWork was forced to go public. Despite generating $1.8 billion in revenue, the company suffered losses that grew to $1.9 billion yearly. Neumann's erratic investments, including We Live, his scattered vision of selling software, providing food and housing, and educating children, led SoftBank shareholders to waver. SoftBank had to withdraw its offer, and WeWork was compelled to go public, which was a welcome relief for employees hoping to cash in their stocks. The downfall of WeWork's founder. Adam Neumann's personal greed and lavish lifestyle led to the decline of WeWork, ultimately resulting in his resignation and a $1 billion severance package. By 2019, WeWork's founder, Adam Neumann, possessed a personal net worth of $10 billion while employees and investors grew increasingly concerned about his hard-partying lifestyle and lack of connection to the company. He maintained complete control of the company, with 10-to-1 voting power over other shareholders. However, just before WeWork went public, he demanded 20-to-1 voting power, further showcasing his personal greed and desire for control. In preparation for the IPO prospectus, WeWork's communication department compiled a list of potentially damaging details about the company. The list included examples of Neumann's profiteering, such as the restructuring of WeWork for his tax benefit and the sale of the trademark, We, to WeWork for $5.9 million. When the financial documents were published, news headlines focused on the company's immense $11 billion in losses, followed by the mockery of the new age tone of the prospectus. However, attention ultimately turned to Neumann's 20-to-1 voting power. WeWork's decline was further solidified when investors no longer valued the company at $47 billion, as Neumann had convinced them, but at a mere $15 to $20 billion. This led to Neumann's resignation, with a $1 billion severance package promised. Neumann's personal greed and lavish lifestyle ultimately overshadowed his leadership at WeWork, leading to the company's downfall.
The Cult of We is an electrifying tale of ambition, deception, and the ultimate crash of the WeWork empire. Adam Neumann and Miguel McKelvey managed to convince investors to pour billions into an ever-expanding venture, only for the reality to crumble under the weight of their own hubris. Neumann's hard-partying lifestyle, frantic spending, and shocking mismanagement are at the heart of this cautionary story. The tale of WeWork reminds us of the perils of unchecked ambition, greed, and impracticability. As we reach the end of this gripping narrative, readers are left to contemplate how such grand delusions could take hold and all the unraveling that ensues when reality finally catches up.